Hey everyone, good evening. I am here tonight to talk to you about how you can heal yourself and achieve more well being through an idea called having small successes. And if you've listened to this station where I broadcast every Thursday night at 8 o'clock, I talked a little bit about that last week as a part of having gratitude. So tonight, I'm actually just putting a finer point on that, and I'm just attempting to explain how this can become sort of an experience or a trait of yours rather than just a state of mind. And so, what I'm saying here is that there's a concept called having small successes. That's kind of the phrase that I'm using here, which really just means about being aware and experiencing things in your daily life, your ordinary everyday life, that are not necessarily connected to something big. Okay, so within this discussion, I just want to mention a couple concepts and some psychology a little bit about uh, motivation and its connection to gratitude. Um, I'll just start by saying that while I am a coach, a career and also a relationship coach, I am always learning and I'm always trying to improve myself and also improve my work in dealing with people that I see as a coach. But I do this also to make other people aware out there, not just of who I am, but also just because I feel a connection and want to be part of the world out there and contribute in ways that are not associated with any other reward. So um, please, at the end, hit the subscribe button if you haven't done so in the past. And I'll just say a few words as I like to do, and then I'm going to lead you guys in a small little exercise. And I'm trying to avoid the glare tonight as best I can. I got some pointers on that. And I still see a reflection in my glasses, so I'm going to see if I can talk above that. The thing that I find really interesting about motivation and gratitude is that we're often led to believe that we have to achieve success through external rewards, and the pursuit of external rewards kind of defines if we are successful. Um, I think everyone understands what I'm talking about, but an external reward is something of value. It's not doesn't have it has value, but it lies outside yourself. So a classic example of this would be praise that you might receive from someone else. Okay, so the reward is that you feel good about someone else sort of validating your work or who you are. This can be in your profession, or it can be, at home, the meal you cook, or the surprise birthday that you give to someone. And you're waiting naturally for the thankfulness and the appreciation to come to you as a result of all your effort. And so that does happen. But what happens is when it doesn't happen, is we're sort of left feeling down and underappreciated, and we feel less energy. Because of the fact, and this is our conditioning, that we have been sort of programmed in a way or conditioned to pursue these outside external rewards. Okay, a paycheck is another thing, or a promotion at work, or it could just be, as simple as a smile, actually. These things give us a sense of our own self worth, but they're not reliable. In fact, they can actually short circuit our own connection to our self worth over time, because they are a couple things wrong with them, these external rewards. And that is that, first, they put you in a competitive kind of frame. Because if you understand external rewards, somebody else did not get or receive that reward that you get, or the opposite. You didn't get something, but someone else did. So often, even the person who receives the award sometimes can feel shame as being the person who, shined above everyone else, and that person may feel that they don't deserve it. So sometimes that happens, but of course, you're competing. Whenever someone else gives in a reward, a promotion at work, for example, there's another person that did not get it. So it is competition by nature is going to have winners and losers. But what I'm really getting at is that external rewards are, while they're good, we can't depend on them because they're not always going to be there. So you may work very hard on something or feel you need to be acknowledged, but just remember that that may not come. In contrast to internal rewards. And the internal rewards, I'm kind of just using this phrase, small successes, to cover what I mean by internal rewards. Internal rewards are your values, and honesty is one, being fair, working hard, caring for other people, doing your best, being healthy, and living by this sort of code of conduct. And they're not, these rewards, these internal rewards are there for us, and they're a very, they're like a renewable source of energy. They do not fade away. However, I will say they're there, but there are many of us, including myself at times, who neglect those inner rewards, or we kind of tune them out because the example of external rewards we are bombarded with and led to believe, that the, beauty is what we're after or something like that. And then inside is much more, of a real value. So, but we're led to believe that these external rewards are the real valuable thing we need to go after in life. So it's really kind of in contrast to our culture. It's counterculture, counterintuitive almost, especially if you've been brought up in a sort of authoritarian, scholastic type of environment where success was only measured by acing a class or getting the highest score, or getting the best job, the best car, the blah, blah, blah. It just kind of goes on, to the point that if we step away from that and we look inside ourselves for a little bit, we may feel that, be kind of overwhelmed or resistant to look inside because we may be missing, or feel that we're missing of outside validation, that we're giving up. And that's not true. We're not giving up our reward system on the outside, which is very important and very valuable. But tonight, what I'm just trying to, I guess, get across is that we don't always have access to that. The people that we depend on, who are going to give us this reinforcement, may not be there. So what do we do in these moments when we cannot get that gratification from that person or that object, that car, that fancy car, whatever it might be? What do we do? And I'm here to say, don't panic, because we actually have a wallet of small successes that we really have to get in touch with. So it's like, what I want to kind of say here is, we all have this. A small success is something that gives you value, and it's not dependent upon performance. It's not dependent upon the approval of others. It's nothing like that. It's more, I'm doing well. I'm living well. I think last week I mentioned that small successes can be as small and seemingly trivial as just getting up in the morning. Okay. But we can quickly go to this, I don't take things for granted kind of idea, but it's not really about, it is somewhat about taking things for granted. And when we do that, what we're really doing, I think, is not noticing these other things around us which are holding us up. Um, they say, wake up and smell the coffee, smell the roses. And some people can't do that because they're just not, well, they have the capacity, but they're not practicing it. So they're not spending the time consciously and actively looking and noticing and trying to immerse yourself in the things that are happening all around you at any given moment. So I'm going to try to wind down here. I always like to think that I'm going to go short, but I don't. I'll give you a great example. So I feel like in the past few weeks, I've been really doing fairly well, I think, with practicing what I preach. And I've been trying to just notice things and go, you know what? That is really valuable. For example, like when my cat rubs her tail against my leg or the chin inside of her cheek, or I just get a smile from a family member, my kids or my wife, or just a friend or family. These kind of things you can kind of just get a little bit used to, feel a little jaded, but I've been trying to really integrate it and really recognize it, because I know that when I get to a point where something I'm pursuing, it does not work out. Let's say, let's say I'm invested in a stock and the stock price, drops precipitously when I get up in the morning. Now that's a bummer, of course, and it's a disappointment. And you may look at it as a failure, but it could tend to color your rest of your day or even week or months if that is all you're focused on. Meanwhile, if you kind of train yourself to practice some of these techniques and exercises that I've been doing, I feel you'll be more like buoyant and resistant to the temptation to just look at that failure, that stock that just took a nosedive, or a disappointing, maybe it's a passive thing that didn't actively happen to you, but I'm trying to think of an example. Well, the weather is one thing, that just happens, but we can choose basically how we want to respond. We have that choice. So the thing I kind of went off there. The thing that I wanted to share really quickly is that this morning I was trying to get on a Zoom with a client, and it was a minute before the Zoom was supposed to start, right? And so I'm getting all ready. And can you guess what happened? The power went off in my house. So everything shut down. First, I just got really upset and I thought it was just the Zoom and I'll quickly fix it. But then I realized everything was off and everything stayed off for another half hour. But during that time, it was unusual because I found myself going back and reverting to the old, oh my gosh, and just rebelling and refusing to accept this, didn't like it, throwing a bit, complaining, that kind of thing. It didn't help at all. But then I realized when I came back on was that I really have never thought about the small successes until sometimes you think you're doing it until you're really challenged. And in that time, I started to realize, you know what? Everything's going to be okay. I am alive. The sun is out. The sky was blue. Well, I didn't have any internet at all, but I was okay. And I do feel that some people have a gift of inner faith and a calmness about them, but others are, like myself, sometimes it's not easy. And so in that time frame, I was really challenged. And I think, okay, I want to believe that I was actually more resilient during that time because of the fact that I've been doing this kind of work, not just for my clients, but like tonight, and also just the self work and self care that I'm doing. And part of that, a big part of that is the having the small successes that I'm saying and kind of logging them. Or another way to put this would be investing by making deposits into the bank of internal rewards and small successes. We have to keep on doing that so that we will not feel deserted or alone in the disappointments that happen, because we have this ongoing investment in taking in the positive small experiences. Okay, so with that said, tonight I just want to do a small little exercise, a mindfulness exercise that I want you to feel welcome to join in, but also I want you to see if you can practice it even in your own life, and look at it as if you have this tool or this, I don't know, it's almost like a credit card. I don't like that name, but it's like you can use this credit to get something that you may feel is out of reach in a time of need, so that you can go back to this sort of meditative mindfulness practice, and you can go, what, you know what? I'm going to pull out my small success card, and I'm going to use it. I'm going to spend on it, but I'm going to spend on myself. And this is a credit card that keeps giving, right? You don't have to pay any balance. It just keeps going. So with that said, I don't have any fancy name for this one. The ones I've used before in the past have had fancy names and everything, but it goes along the lines of tonight, in our topic, which is, attaining well-being by allowing yourself to have these small successes, which are just phenomenal. They will always be there for you. Okay. So if you want to just think to yourself, what is something I did today or recently? It doesn't have to be it's a small thing. Not just that you did, it could be something that you're just grateful for. In a way, if you're grateful for something that is like a success, that the two words I'm kind of using interchangeably, but just something pleasant, something enjoyable that you can just put into focus right now, and just close your eyes. Whatever that might be, it could be a person, a comment they made, it could be a physical gesture, a smile, a hug, or maybe it's not a person at all. Maybe it's that you were good to yourself, you were kind to yourself, and that's what you're holding your focus on right now. So when doing these types of things, it's much more useful to actually hold your attention on these as much as possible. So that means including your physical body, kind of almost imagining that you're surrounding this precious success, this moment that gave you this joy, and you're kind of guarding it and maybe holding it in your lap, and you're feeling what it does to you. It may even give you some physical sensation of euphoria or just satisfaction now that you're recalling this. But you also might be feeling that, wow, it's so amazing, I didn't even notice this before until Eddie here is bringing it up. That's fine. We're doing this without judgment. So we want to close our eyes, and then as we try to embed this in us, we breathe in and we kind of just breathe out, keeping our focus on this memory of this joyful experience. Doesn't have to be, it's not a big one either, although if you chose a big one, it's okay. And you're just breathing it in, almost like it has a scent, almost as if you can taste it. Because what you're doing, okay, the neuroscience of this is that we have a neuroplasticity of brain power here. And we can actually bring in positive experiences to actually change our negative bias around from always being on the lookout and guard, and fighting for things, to inner contentment as being who we are, part of who we are as our daily experience. So, as you kind of hold this close to you, just know that the memory of it, you are infusing yourself with this powerful experience that we're doing right now. And the more you can kind of recall this or visualize this experience, if it is on the outside world, that is, the better you are bringing this into your system as a part of a kind of permanent thing. So, permanent thing, what I mean by that is that you're kind of hardwiring yourself for having more of these types of experiences, because you're focusing your energy on having more of this type of experience. So it's opening up our mind's eye to have more of these types of experiences that give us so much. So the irony and paradox, I think, of this is that a small experience of joy actually delivers a greater, more valuable experience than maybe you ever have thought before. So a small success becomes a big one. There's all types of, cliches that come to mind with this thing. Less is more, and so on, and that kind of thing. But now we're really practicing it. So I hope that this stays with you, and that tomorrow or tonight or whenever you're outside, inside, with your eyes closed or awake, whomever is with you, whatever you're doing, see if you can notice something that is a good thing around you. I'll just put it that way. Something good, something pleasant that you could be happy about for even a few seconds. Okay? Hope you like that. The glare, it's working a little bit here, but I see my screen and my glasses here, and, we're getting there. It's a small success. Yeah. Okay, everyone. Well, until next week, again, I'm always broadcasting every Thursday, 8:00. Love for you to come. Would love to get some more people in here too, but I am going to be happy with whomever came tonight. And thank you for coming. That is actually a big success to me. And I'm fine with that. So, but if you know some more people interested in this kind of thing, personal growth, working on yourself, please tune in and spread the good word. Take care, everyone. Peace out.